If you've been a part of the YouTube tech community for any amount of time, particularly here in the UK, the name Stu's Reviews probably rings a bell. He is an absolutely amazing guy who does very high quality and funny technology reviews and unboxings. I like to think that many of the things that I've learnt on this channel have come from him at some point. So why am I talking about Stu in this video? Well, that is because for his patrons, he runs something that he likes to call the car boot auction. I am one of those patrons, so this month I entered to win a couple of items. The way this works is basically you put in a random bid for an item. You choose how much you want to pay, and that is anonymously put up. At the end of the time, if you are the highest bidder, you win, but you don't know what other people have bid, so it's all a little bit of fun. Some of the money goes to charity as well, so it is a great way to give back to the community, and I think it's just a really cool thing to do. I've got 3 items down here that I've received from him, and I'm super excited to show them to you today, do a little bit of an unboxing, and as well as just talk about them. So without further ado, thank you Stu, my name is Robert, this is Review Clue, and this is what I bought this month. So I paid very little money for these items. I got a very good deal, I feel like. Let's start off with the most boring of the 3 items. And that is this. There we go. It is a Starry light projector. Now, I've looked at these for a very, very long time. I like my smart lighting. My house is absolutely covered in it. And this is something that I've actually never owned. One of the laser lights that shows up on the ceiling and it makes it look like a starry sky. Very, very nice. This also has a Bluetooth speaker and a few other functions as well, and just acts like a nightlight. I'm super excited to give it a try because, as I say, I've never actually had one, and I think they look pretty interesting. Let's start off with our Starry projector light. We've got some really nice settings on here, like it being a nightlight. It's also got the audio in it. It can make a great gift, apparently, so let's go ahead and open it up. These things are pretty generic and fairly cheap as well. Again, I got a fairly good deal on this compared to its retail. But let's take a look at what we get in the box. We, of course, get a charging cable, or some kind of cable for it. It is, unfortunately, micro USB. There's no USB in sight here, but I suppose I will let it off. They really shouldn't. If you're going to be making devices like this, at least make them USB-C. We appear to have a little remote here as well for a few different settings. It seems to take 2 AAAs, don't have any, so we'll just plug it in like normal. And we obviously do get the light itself. So this has the main light here, as well as a small little laser, and I'll plug it in and get some footage of it all working in a minute. But on the back here, let me just zoom in here. You can see that we've got some controls. For example, we've got a USB in for having like a USB device or a USB stick with some songs on it. How bright we want it. Volume controls. As well as our DC in and a power on and off switch. Funnily enough, if I just zoom out a little bit, you can actually see that this is almost built like it could be mounted to the ceiling and projected downwards, if that was something that you wanted to do. I don't know why you'd want to, and I quite like the design of it. It looks pretty UFO-y and futuristic, which goes with that space theme. But let's get it plugged in and you can see what it looks like while it's all working. Let's move on to a slightly more interesting item. Next up, we have this. The Xsens Home Security Kit. Now, if you know me, I've been running home security updates for a little while. My house is very much automated and I've got more security tech in my house than I ever have before. But there are a few holes in my security. For example, I don't have window and door sensors, and I don't really have motion sensors. That is where this kit is going to come in. Basically what you get is you get 4 door and window sensors, and 2 little motion sensors as well. Unfortunately, these motion sensors look like they should screw onto a wall, and I don't particularly want to do that, so I might have to 3D print and design some kind of stand for these. Alongside that, you also get the remote and the hub. I'm actually really interested to check this out. I've read some reviews online that this doesn't work with IFTTT and other smart home integrators. But let's take a look anyway and take a look at what we get in the box and maybe even set this up. Next up on the chopping block, we've got the Xsens home security system. So as I mentioned, this has got a ton of different bits in it, including those 4 door and window sensors, the 2 motion sensors, and a couple of other bits as well. Let's quickly just have a look at these bits all together. I'm kind of excited to get into this one and have a play, because as I mentioned, I actually don't have a ton of home security products like this. So we've got our instruction manual. I probably won't be reading it, but it's there if you want it. A nice quick start guide with the app link on it as well. And a sticker so you can tell everyone that your house has a very loud alarm system in it. Let's take a look at the hub itself. This is the hub. This is where everything is going to be plugging in to. It's apparently got battery power as well, so if you do have a power cut, it's still going to work for a little bit offline. Basically, all of these sensors are going to connect to this hub. You've got your speaker in here as well, and it makes a very loud noise. It looks pretty nice. I feel like it wouldn't look out of place anywhere in my house. It's pretty big, white, and inoffensive, I guess. Let's have a look at these sensors real quick. So this is one of those motion sensors. And you can actually see that there's the mounting bracket on the back there with the 4 little screws. But I kind of just wanted to sit this like on a high place rather than screwing it into the wall. So I am going to have to do some kind of 3D printing of some sort to make a bracket so that these can just sit on a table or in a high spot in my house. I'm only going to take one of these out because there's 4 of them and they all look pretty much the same. They are door and window sensors. They can be about 2.5 centimeters apart apparently and still not trigger. They are actually fairly chunky and fairly big. I'm a little bit worried that maybe these won't quite fit on my doors and windows, but we'll have to see. Outside of that, we obviously do get some of the accessories as well, like the power adapter and all of the mounting brackets, and a load of M3 tape as well. So for these brackets, I'm going to M3 these to my doors and windows, but for the actual sensors themselves, I think what I'm going to have to do is 3D print some kind of rig for them, because I really don't want to have to screw them into my wall. Anyway, let's move on to item number 3. Before we continue on with the last item though, I do just want to say that if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then 1, lucky you, and 2, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload. Seriously, I'm getting so close now to my next milestone of 2,000 subscribers. It's pretty amazing. I'm actually like 5 subscribers away, so if you aren't yet and you're enjoying this kind of content, it would mean the absolute world to me. Anyway, let's continue with the 3rd and final item. This is potentially the item that I think I got the best deal on, and I'm really looking forward to getting to play with. And it is this. It is the Xsens, and it is a robotic vacuum cleaner. I've owned and reviewed a couple of robot vacuum cleaners in the past, and none of them have really I've ever got on with. This one looks a little bit different in that it doesn't actually have brushes on the bottom. It has the 2 brushes to push in, but it doesn't have one large brush in the middle, which means that there is less to go wrong. The main reason I didn't really use the other ones was because I found that they were just ever so slightly too big for my space, and those brushes just got a lot of hair and other gunk stuck in them, particularly as I've got Icarus, who is our rabbit. He produces a lot of hair and it really clogs up these kinds of systems. So let's take a look at what we actually get in the box with this one. Okay, finally number 3, we've got the big old Xsens. This is a big old box, so I'm actually not sure how I'm going to get into it. I've just noticed I've put it the wrong way around, so I'm going to have to spin it here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we get in the box. I feel like this is just going to be a very generic... There we go. Wow, I like the space theme already. It's telling me a little bit about it and some of the base as well. So it's obviously got its base station that it's going to go home and find. So we need to put that with a little bit of space around it, about 1.5 meters. Attach the brushes. Let's set it on its base, power it on, and then connect up the smart app. Because of course this thing does have a smart app, otherwise it wouldn't be a smart Hoover, would it? So we've got some instructions here, all in Chinese. I probably won't read these, and I don't think I'm going to need them. These are disposable dusters. Ooh, fast dry without any water stains. These look really interesting, and it was one of the reasons that made me put a bid in for these. Because they have these detachable dusters, I feel like it's going to do a better job than many of my other ones of these that I've tried in the past. Crikey, that is heavy. That is the magnetic strips to allow you to kind of block off an area so that it doesn't go in a particular area. If, for example, you don't want it going underneath your TV unit, you can put some of these magnetic strips down and it will stop going into that area and getting itself trapped. We of course have a plug here as well. This is a UK plug, thankfully. The Xsens actually came with a European plug, annoyingly, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that one. But let's pull up the Hoover itself, pop it off to the side and have a look at what else we get. We of course do get those brushes. Oh, we've got some nice replacements as well. We've got 4 of them, so we can throw those on in a minute and give it all a quick run around. This appears to be one of the back pieces that goes onto it. It's just going to help to dust. And we of course have the little cutter and brush as well to help keep everything nice and clean. The base is surprisingly thin. Whenever I get these bases, they're normally quite tall and quite fat. But I like how small this one is. It almost looks like it's not been taken out of the box, which is really impressive. Thank you, Stu. You appear to have just sent me a brand new one of these, which I'm super excited to get out of the box. I'm going to stop squishing that, because it's probably making a lot of noise. But there we go. Let's move the box out of the way and take a look at the Hoover itself. Okay, and here it is. I mean, this is pretty cool. It's got a nice little space theme going on. Just turn my ISO up and you can see that space theme a little bit better. Look at that. It looks super fun. I don't know if I can I peel this sticker off? Is it meant to come off? I don't know. I'm going to peel it off anyway. Let's give it a really good tug. There we go. And we can see the fairly big reservoir. It is a nice sized reservoir, actually. How do I pull it out? Good. Ah, there we go. So here is our reservoir. We've got a filter in here already. We did have a spare filter that came with it. It's not enormous, but honestly it's probably big enough for what I would need. I'm only going to be running this in a couple of rooms. It's not going to be running the whole flat. Let's put it back in, flip it onto its butt, and take a look, and it's underneath. Look at that. So we've got these absolutely enormous wheels. They are heavy duty wheels. I feel like this is not going to have any trouble getting stuck anywhere in my house. Obviously we've got the zones here that your little spinners are going to go on. But perhaps most importantly, we've got this large open space here. This is normally where you'll see those brushes, but we just don't have them this time. We've got this nice big open space, which is going to allow a much more interesting hoovering experience, I guess is the word. I am really interested to see how this is going to work. I'm just going to grab one of the pieces from the box here. One of the mops / dusters, which is this bit here. I'm just going to try and work out where this goes, because I'm actually not entirely sure. I'm guessing it's going to go on the back here. Yeah. So it just clips onto the back and allows to dust as it goes along as well. So let's just flip it back over. That is the Lefant robotic vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this toy. So there we have it, guys. That's the 3 items that I've bought this month from Stu's Reviews. Once again, thank you, Stu, for running these kinds of opportunities and for giving me some really cool tech for some pretty cheap prices. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing more content like this, I might see if I can buy a few more items over the coming months and we can make this maybe a monthly thing. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, get down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon, do all of that jazz. My name's been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.